Hi everybody, I'm Roy Firestone for JFS Desert, and I'm here to tell you about an incredibly inspiring, moving, poignant, and ultimately uplifting interview on the heels of a powerful award-winning documentary film that's been featured in many international festivals. It's called Mr. Rakowski, and it's the story of two Holocaust survivors and their family. But this has less to do with the Holocaust and more to do with reconciliation, the power of forgiveness, gratitude, and of course, love. This film gets a constructive conversation going, I think. I saw it, and I think if you do, it might change your life for the better, really. I want to introduce you to Mr. Raphael Rakowski, who has a crucial role in the film. I talked to him about the film's theme and how he came to forgive and reconcile a nightmarish childhood. I'm going to show the trailer for people who are getting ready to see this movie. But before I do this, a little preamble. This is not a Holocaust movie. And there are people who are saying, oh man, I don't know. I just don't think I could sit through, with all the hardships we're going through right now, why would I want to sit through a Holocaust movie? So before we roll this clip, which is the trailer, tell the folks why it's not just an abbreviation, but the Holocaust part of it is almost on the periphery in a weird way. Yes, it's part of the story, but it's not the story. The story is about overcoming. The story is about the uplifting side of humanity that learns that love is the ultimate power, and with love is forgiveness. Before we look at that trailer.
My father was very, very angry, and I was trying to figure out whether it was the war that made him the way he was, or was it the way he was? And that was the conundrum, because if it was the war, I had to forgive him. I had to. If it wasn't the war, I had to think about whether I could forgive him. And that was the inner dialogue in my mind, my whole childhood. As this evolved and as it developed, I discovered, irrespective of the war or the Holocaust, or even of my father, the power of forgiveness, the power of gratitude. And I would say, of all the things I've learned, putting more energy and gratitude than anything else in your day is the most powerful way you can live your life, the most powerful way to influence your children, your health, your coworkers, strangers. It's contagious, it's infectious, and it lifts your life. So the movie is about me just kind of feeling gratitude in the wake of all this other stuff, which was an enigma for me.
And we will talk about some of that stuff, but let's roll the trailer. You've seen it before, you've lived it before, but we're going to react to it. And it is painful to watch at first, but we're going to talk about why it ain't necessarily what it shows.
My mother's life 6 times during the war. In the day-to-day, how you have a relationship with other human beings, he's clueless, doesn't know what to do.
I still remember today the pains, the terrible pains.
My mother had the same experiences. She didn't turn into ice. I know plenty of other Holocaust survivors. They didn't turn into ice.
He was always a hard worker boy.
You were proud of him?
Yeah.
But you never told him?
No.
It's the most horrible thing you could do to a person. It's the most horrible thing you could do to a person. Never forgiven him for that. Never, ever.
In a moment like this, you don't think what you say.
It had nothing to do with the war. Nothing.
Well, it's painful to even watch that. When you see that, that's your life. I mean, that trailer is your life in 90 seconds. Do you still get emotional just seeing what you went through? Was it a cathartic experience? Was it a raw experience in making this film?
It wasn't the pain I felt. It was the recognition of the journey that my father, it was no longer my need to somehow react to what happened to me. My life was full. I was grateful for my life. So this idea that we have to somehow drag our past into our present, blame others, hold on to injury. When I watch it now, it's a beautiful thing because of what I've done to honor my father and my mother. So every time I see it now, I just go, Dad, take a look at what we did.
Speaking of joy, I want to show a picture for the folks who are watching this on video of your mom. She's a very beautiful woman, by the way.
Thank you.
People may not, well, unless they see the film, are not aware of the fact that she escaped death camp, and your father, as you said, saved her life 6 times. You told me an amazing story that she was at one point thrown on a pile of dead bodies, and they thought she was dead. And if I'm not wrong about this, because she moved her hand, a British soldier, a finger. So she's a miracle woman. The fact that she lived her life, raised you, with all the trauma and with all the tragedy, she was a bit of a miracle. I'm going to play a clip, again from the movie, very raw, very powerful, about you recollecting what kind of a love this woman represented to you.
Every Friday she would make a pile of flour, and she would have me take my hand and put a fist in the flour, and then I would take a stick of butter, put it in the middle, and she put 2 eggs, sugar and cinnamon, and make a cake. The smell of her baking is a big part of my childhood, always smiling. Whenever I walked in a room, she would smile. I could walk out of a room for a minute. It was like I was gone for a year. I'd walk back, she saw me, she would smile. Every second she saw me, she would smile. It was like I was a light. Unbelievable, unbelievable love that she had for me. I've never seen anything like it. And when I got married, I tried to find that in another woman. That's why I got divorced twice. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I looked for that in a woman. That love just doesn't exist.
You're emotional a little bit watching it now, I guess, maybe. A little bit.
Yeah. I miss my mother.
I bet.
Terribly.
We all do. I caught something you said earlier before that I have said many times, and that is that gratitude is a power. It's not just a way to look at life. It's an actual power. For when you are grateful, you start to look at not what you don't have, but what you do have.
I don't really believe you're grateful for your life. You're grateful for this moment, for this day. You start your day and you say thank you for everything. You end your day, you say thank you for everything. It doesn't take 10, 15 minutes a day. Just say thank you. Thank you for everything that's in your life today. When you add up the 365 days in the morning and the 365 days at night in a year, you've actually showed gratitude for the whole year. When you add up the years, your whole life. Great gratitude is not something you do on a Sunday or on Saturday in synagogue. Gratitude is how you live your life.
Mr. Rakowski is the film. It's powerful and uplifting. You'll hear personally from Raphael Rakowski. He'll inspire you, move you, take your questions and answer them about the film and his view of life. For information, call 760-325-4088 or visit jfsdesert.org.